UFC Fight Night Kape versus Almabayev takes place this weekend, which means it's time for me to break down every single fight on this card, starting with the early prelim opener, going all the way up to the main event of the evening. So let me jump right into the card here. So I'll be doing this on topology here mostly. First fight of the night is Charles Johnson versus Ramazan Temirov. Charles Johnson, his last fight, was it Joshua Van? No, it was Asuma Derji, his last fight. Good win there. Ramazan Temirov, he made his UFC debut against CJ Vergara. He did what he was supposed to do there, got a nice KO win. And CJ Vergara is not like the most incredible competition or anything, but he did knock him out. Ramazan Temirov, this guy is knocking out a lot of people. Most of his wins are by knockout, 18-2. But he has a 63-inch reach. And Charles Johnson, this guy's known for beating this type of competition. You know, this screams like in a Zap Maxim fight, you know. I think Charles Johnson is going to get it done. There is danger of a round one knockout for Temirov, but yeah, I don't think he's going to be the first person to knock out Charles Johnson. Azat Maxum did knock down Charles Johnson, but it was kind of off balance, and like he recovered really fast from it. I think Charles Johnson takes home a decision victory. Maybe a late finish if Temirov can't hang, but Charles Johnson's going to get it done. He's a very good all-around boxer, and he's good at implementing the skill set of MMA. You know, Ramazan Temirov, he's pretty new to the game. UFC wise, we don't know how far he's gonna go. Charles Johnson's taking this one. Next fight, we've got Montana De La Rosa versus Luana, Carolina. What more is there to say than Montana De La Rosa? 2 wins in her last 5 fights. And her last fight, split decision against Andrea Lee. You're going to a split decision with Andrea Lee in 2024? That's a pretty bad look, I'd say. Luana Carolina, I've given her some flack in the past. I don't really rate her incredibly as a fighter, but she's getting past Montana De La Rosa. Maybe she gets a K. No, it's not. It's a decision win all the way. For Luana Carolina, I'm not taking much time on this one. That's the official pick. Luana Carolina by decision. Next fight, we've got Lucas Almeida versus Danny Silva. Lucas Almeida coming off a win over Timmy Kawamba. I thought Kawamba was going to get it done in that fight. Danny Silva, he beat Josh Kulabau in his last fight. I thought Josh Kulabau was going to get it done. And I thought Josh Kulabau should have won that fight as well. Round 1 and round 2, and then he gassed out. But they gave it to Danny Silva. But, you know, Danny Silva still hung in there with Josh Kulabau. Looked pretty good. And Lucas Almeida, I don't really think he's got much more to give in, like, he's 34, but he's one of these 34-year-old fighters that's actually, like, 38, 39, like, fight years, you know. I don't think he's got much more time left in the cage. I think Danny Silva's going to get this done. He's got the age advantage, you know, he's got physicality, He looked better in his last performance as well, I think. I think Danny Silva's taken home a decision victory over Lucas Almeida. That's going to be the official pick. Next fight, we've got Andrea Lee versus JJ Aldritch. Andrea Lee's lost 5 of her last 5 fights. We're going to go with JJ Aldritch to beat Andrea Lee by decision. I think you'd be insane to pick Andrea Lee at this stage in her career. Yeah, I don't think I should spend much more time on this one. I think pretty cut and dry. JJ Aldritch going to take home a decision victory, maybe a split decision, but you know, Andrea Lee never wins those. She's not winning a fight here, guys. She's lost her last 5. Next fight, we've got Douglas Silva to Andrade versus John Castaneda. And I'm a little confused by the line. You know, Douglas Silva, I get he's 38, 39 years old, but John Castaneda has not really shown. He beat Kyung Ho Kang, Muin Gafarov, and Miles Johns, but I guess he beat Miles Johns. You know, Miles Johns just beat Douglas Silva, that's what they're going off of type. He's got the age advantage, the physicality. He might be able to implement his wrestling game here. But Douglas Silva is like a 75% takedown defense. And, Cody Stamen took him down in their fight, but he was only down for like 5 seconds, and then he got back up to his feet. So it's kind of tough to say, is John Castaneda going to be good enough here? He's got the reach advantage. He's going to be fresher in there, 6 years younger. I think I'm probably going to have to go with John Castaneda over Douglas Silva. I was really debating if I wanted to go with the underdog of Douglas Silva here, but I'm going to go with John Castaneda. I think he's going to try to be wrestling here. He's a very gritty. He's like a Marab. He's a Marab type guy where he's just constantly spamming takedowns, that type of thing. And even if he doesn't get them, he's going to win just by, the Mario Batista holding you against the fence. I think that's going to be John Castaneda's game plan here. So, yeah, I'm going to go with John Castaneda to take home a decision victory. A lot of decisions. Last card there was a lot of finishes, so we're going to have a lot of decisions here to counteract that. Next fight, we got Ricardo Ramos versus Chepe Mariscal. Both 17-6. But their last 5 fights, completely different story. Chepe Mariscal has won his last 5 fights, looked incredible along the way. When he came in the UFC against Trevor Peek, some people were doubting him, but then he fucking held his own, looked incredible that fight. Jack Jenkins, he was getting outstruck in that fight, but he still... it was an arm break. It's not that much of a win, but Morgan Sherrier, that was an incredible win for him as well. Damon Jackson, he's had some good wins in the UFC. Ricardo Ramos, he's not been incredible, I'd say. Losing to Charles Jourdain, Julian Rosa, Zubera Tukgov. I think Chepe Mariscal's having his way with him. He's a phenomenal leg kicker. His kickboxing, Muay Thai skills really good. Chepe's taken home a decision victory. Maybe a KO over Ricardo Ramos, but he's getting it done over Ricardo Ramos. We're going with Chepe Mariscal. That's the official pick. Next fight, we've got Danny Barlow versus Sam Paterson. Danny Barlow, I think he's a really good fighter. He looked pretty good his last fight against Nikolai Veretennikov. We just saw how good Veretennikov was, though, so that age is a little worse now because he looked pretty bad. Josh Quinlan, they're not the most incredible wins looking back on it in hindsight, but Sam Paterson, who's he beat? Johan Lanes, a shitty Canadian fighter that's not in the UFC anymore, and Kiefer Crosby. They're 2 guys that are just not impressive wins. Danny Barlow's taking it home. Sam Paterson got knocked out by Assmouth when he fought that dude in lightweight, Danny Barlow's getting it done. He's getting a KO victory here. He's had a couple undesirable performances, or just the one actually against Veretennikov, but Danny Barlow's getting a KO victory over Sam Paterson. There's no reach advantage for Sam to exploit here. Danny Barlow's knocking this dude out. We're going to go with the Danny Barlow round 2 KO over Sam Paterson. Next fight, we got William Gomis versus Hyder Amil. And man, I kind of want to go with Hyder Amil. I kind of do. I don't hate going with him. He looked pretty good his last fight, but it was against Jung Lee. William Gomis, his last fight, Joe Anderson Brito, pretty impressive. And I think if he was going to lose a fight, it would have been that Joe Anderson Brito fight. He's a pretty well-rounded mixed martial artist. Hyder Amil, pretty new to the game, and he's only 10-0. We haven't seen much of his skill set yet. I think William Gomis is going to make this a very boring fight where he's going to be hipping and hawing at range, throwing out a jab, throwing out a teep, circling, doing his best to not engage with Hyder Amil. Because I think if he gets in the pocket with Hyder Amil, he definitely could get caught. Hyder Amil has crazy power. We saw it against Jung Lee. He cracked him once, and then his fucking fighter instinct went off, and he's just unloading a 50 bomb on him. So if something like that happens, Hyder Amil could get a finish, but it's going to be hard pressed. We're going to go with a William Gomis decision win. As much as it pains me to do so, I don't like William Gomis. Next fight, we've got Austen Lane versus Mario Pinto. This has got to be a Mario Pinto win. Austen Lane, he somehow didn't lose his last fight. Rebellis to Spain, he somehow got past him. Despain's still knocking out dudes in 7 seconds in karate combat where he belongs, but Mario Pinto, I think this guy can stop a takedown. I mean, I hope. But even if he's knocking out Austen Lane. Austen Lane's getting knocked out. End of story. Mario Pinto round 1 KO. Austen Lane sucks. Easy as it is, Next fight, we got Nasrat Haqparast versus Estoban Ribovics. Probably Ribovics. Nasrat Haqparast has looked not terrible in his recent fights, but he's fighting bad competition is the thing. Jared Gordon, Jamie Malarkey, Landon Quinones, John McDessie. All these guys are either at the end of their career, John McDessie, Jamie Malarkey, Jared Gordon, or you got like a random Landon Quinones who's a guy that had 2 UFC fights that's not even fighting anymore. If you guys saw, he announced his retirement like last week on his Instagram. So I hope Landon Quinones is the best in his future endeavors. But he still beat Marquez Medeiros. I don't know why I'm talking about Landon Quinones, but Esteban Ribovics, he looks as really good. I think that was the Sphere, Daniel Zellhuber, that fight. That was an incredible back and forth fight. I thought Daniel Zellhuber was going to take the win, but no, Esteban Ribovics, this guy, he's a beast, man. Very gritty. Terrence McKinney, of course, he obliterated him with a head kick. You're going to have to go with Esteban Ribovics here to win this fight. He could get a finish, but I think there's going to be a back and forth. Like, this might be fight of the night here against Haqparast and Ribovics. I'm going to go with Ribovics by decision. That'll be the official pick. Have I picked a fucking finish, man? Yeah, I just picked Mario Pinto and Danny Barlow. Okay, I have a couple, but most are decisions. Cody Brundage, Julian Marquez is the co-main event. Oh my god. By golly gee. What a fight. Cody Brundage, this guy. He does what he needs to do to, I don't know what there is to say about Cody Brundage, man. He kind of sucks. He loses most fights, against anyone they put up against him, but Julian Marquez is like the same breed of fighter. His last win, Smiling Sam Alvey in 2021. So, how about a little bit of fun here? Cody Brundage will be tails. Julian Marquez will be heads. Alright, we're going with Cody Brundage over Julian Marquez. That's the official pick. As you saw, it landed on heads, but then I flipped it back to tails. I'm not picking Julian Marquez. Cody Brundage, he's an underdog here for some reason, too. I think he's got to beat Julian Marquez, right? I think Julian Marquez doesn't have anything else to give. He died to one single punch from Zachary Reese, and Zachary Reese just looks worse and worse every fight we see him in. Unfortunately, I still love the guy. He's an amazing fighter. Zachary Reese, please come on the channel one day. Zachary Reese, come on the channel one day. Anyways, Cody Brundage, he's taken out Julian Marquez. I don't know how, though. Is this a round 1 finish for Cody Brundage? He beat Zachary Reese in the first round. He won over Jacob Malkoun in the first round by disqualification. This fight, there's no way it goes over 1.5 rounds. I'm going to have to go Cody Brundage. ground and pound TKO win in the first round, maybe something like that. Something like that. Yeah, we're gonna go with Cody Brundage over Julian Marquez. Not gonna spend much more time on that one though. Main event time. Manel Kape versus Asu Almabayev. Manel Kape, he's coming off of a great win over Bruno Silva. It looked incredible. Got a nice KO win. Starboy performance. He looked just phenomenal that fight. All right. Asu Almabayev's last fight, Mateusz Nicolau. He looked pretty good that fight. I picked Mateusz to win that fight. I thought he'd be able to maybe win a decision over Asu Almabayev, and it was close. Mateusz Nicolau wasn't looking terrible. He lost the first round, won the second round, but third round comes along. I think it was like a spinning back kick or something like that knocked Mateusz Nicolau down, and then Asu Almabayev rode out a decision win. But Manel Kape did get controlled at ease by Muhammad Mokaev. So it is a really tough question of, does Manel Kape have takedown defense now? Does he have a will to win? Because he didn't in that Mokaev fight. But Asu Almabayev, I think Manel Kape's going to take this home. He's got better striking. And over the course of 5 rounds, I don't think Almabayev's going to be able to, I don't think he's going to keep the pace with Manel Kape. I don't think so. He might take a round or two, but Manel Kape's going to end up winning this fight. Whether it be a close decision or a late finish, Manel Kape's taken home this dub against Asu Almabayev, who I don't think is that good, man. I've had this theory. Please, Manel Kape. If he beats you, I have to admit that I'm wrong. Anyways, we're going to go with Manel Kape by a round 4 TKO win over Asu Almabayev. That's the official pick. Lock it in. And yeah, look out for the sparring sessions parlay coming soon in the later end of the week here. Look out for the rest of the picks and the bets and all that. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back here for more soon. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.